garden and lawn supplies.
Wow.
Cause there was a riding lawnmower, and I think they took that, but other stuff is like just big barrels and just broken cages and it's just stuff that, I don't know why it's in there. The other one has a bunch of other stuff in it that we don't use, it's just in there. And we get so many, there's a bunch of cages donated. If, when that garage gets situated, I mean, that one part's gonna be turned into storage. Some of that stuff could probably be brought inside.
Was it good quality?
Because in the middle of winter, if I have to go, I mean, we don't ideally trap dogs in the winter, but if there was a situation, we have to go through a lot of snow to even get that door open, to get anything out of there. That's kind of the pain.
So when you do get the stuff, so everything is situated, maybe go through and just throw some of that
And
crap out.
you might be able to get rid of at least maybe one of those sheds too. I don't know if we need both of them.
Yeah.
It's better to have, for me, it's better to have stuff stored inside so that I can actually get to
Right.
it and I can keep it organized and know what's in there. But when you have sheds like that, you just,
I don't
you
trust
just
me,
keep throwing stuff in there.
I know that is.
And some of it's,
Out of
it'll
sight,
leave
out
all
of
of it,
mind.
yeah. Well, we cleaned it, cause I was like, where's the dog traps are buried in the back, I'm like, I need a dog trap. So, and those things are big, they're hard to get to, they're buried, so, it's been cleaned a little bit, but.
Okay, anything else about that, them being there or anything? So it sounds hopeful, they got some good ideas.
Yeah, they got some good ideas
coming
and,
forward. Good.
yeah, what they were explaining.
Okay, okay, second item, modification to the Russell County Animal Shelter Euthanasia Policy. Okay, if you look at this, if you look at the minutes, remember we passed that, but there's like, well, 3 different versions, all we're doing is just modifying and we needed to get it approved. If you look at the first one here, that was, it says approved on November 16th, 2023 at the bottom. This is the one that we went through and that we approved, but then it was discussed that we should put the policy date or year up there and down here, and we should have it when it was effective and everything. So we went back, and the second page where it says changes, and I went through and edited a little bit of it. I mean, it's just tidying it up. It, like for example, you can see, well, this, you can see where some lines have gone through. We tried to do it in red and everything. I can't do it on my county computer, so Jill went through this. But if you look like the numberings there, 1, 2, 3, you had 1 period, 2 period, 3 period, and then 4 with the friends. So I made them all friends. It's just tidying it up. Didn't change the length. And then the last one is the one, final changes to be approved on December 21st. So the last one, so look that over, and that would be the final one.
I just have a question. Well-being, is that a compound word or should it be 2 words?
Could be hyphenated, that
It looks awkward all together. Well-being? Yeah.
Where is it in the thing?
it's in the 3rd paragraph,
Yeah.
3rd line, 2nd word in from the left.
Okay, yes.
Probably hyphenated.
Hyphenated?
Hyphenated, yeah.
Hyphenated.
Hyphenated.
I teach in grade school, so if you're not sure if
Okay.
it's compound or not hyphenated.
So we'll just make a change to that, make that hyphenated in,
That's the
if
only thing I-
anybody objects to
That's the
that.
only thing I saw.
That's right.
I just thought-
I did this thing so fast, you know, I didn't.
Mhm.
But look through this page then, the final changes, and we, with that one correction, overall well hyphen being, read through that again, take a quick look, because it took out some of the redundancy, and it says everything, and then we put the effective date and the modification, because we need that, so this will go forward then. So they say, well, when was this adopted, and, everything, it's right there on the top. So, take a quick look at that. And if everybody's satisfied with that, then with that one correction, then I'll entertain a motion to approve,
So moved. Second.
okay, the modification to the animal shelter. Again, I hate to use the term modification because it's just updating, you know, correcting some of the language in my.
Numerical corrections and
Yeah, grammatical, so, okay, the motion's made and seconded to modify the animal shelter euthanasia policy, as of today. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, motion carried. Okay, animal shelter, monthly report.
Okay, well, I didn't do as much as I wanted to. I'm down an employee this week, so,
Sick or?
her dad's in the hospital.
Oh.
He has
oh.
COVID and she probably has COVID. I've been doing the dog
Going around,
and everything else.
'cause we know.
This is just what's, there's 3 of them there. If you
It's going on different.
Right, our neighbor, he's not gonna know either.
I got there at 6:30 this morning.
Are the cats awake yet or not?
No, nobody's awake. The dogs first, they were excited.
Okay.
This is everybody that's at the shelter right now.
Okay.
So I wanna say there's 40 or 42, I think it's 42 because we got 2 new ones in. So the 2 new ones are Domino and Pringle, they're both sick and injured. But looks like we'll hope maybe Domino, I'm not 100% sure if he's fixable. Pringle's just a little kid and it's got upper respiratory.
What's the other, what's Domino's problem?
Domino was, caught in a live trap, and the live trap had been left there from,
Oh, Lord.
so we live trapped a bunch of cats a while ago, and it wasn't our trap, and I don't think it was anybody's trap either, I don't know whose trap it is honestly, but it was left open, and it's been open for months and months and months and months, and even the food in there was rotten.
Oh,
Well, that cat must have been so hungry
starving.
that he went in there, and I don't know how long he was in there, but then the guy that owned the house called, a lady that was helping his trap, she's like, I think there's a cat in this trap. So she went and got it and brought it in, so he also may have, he looks like his ears probably got frostbit, it takes a while for them to fall off. He also has an injury to his face, he was bloody when we got him, he was a mess, but he's semi-pure, I can touch him and stuff, but I can't like do a lot with him, I vaccinated him and gave him an injection of antibiotics and stuff. He doesn't trust me to like,
Couple.
he ate one cup. He has like his lip kind of sticks out, he's got like a quiver, so I don't know if he's got a damaged tooth in there, he won't look at it. So I'm gonna give him his 4 days and then stuff, and it's okay.
Kind of kitty is he?
He's short hair. White cat with black spots. He's cute, but, you know,
Wow.
intact male.
Was male?
Yeah,
I wonder.
he's intact. He's probably hungry, but he's
What?
good.
Male cats are hungry.
Pringle was found yesterday, he's a little autistic kitten, and then in the playroom,
Oh, the one you have online.
Huh?
The one you posted online. On Facebook?
Tina, yeah, she's still in there, Remy Raven, Mr. Kim is still in there, but he's been adopted, he's leaving next Wednesday.
Oh, good.
And then the other room, 4 cats in there, and then quarantine, we've got, a bunch of cats in there, most of them have upper respiratory and ringworm.
How long does it take to get them cured of that?
Usually it is a 6-week course, they have to take it for a week, and then they're off for a week, and then they take it, we're doing oral and topical, cause that is the best way to get rid of it, best and quickest way to get rid of it. And you do the oral because some cats are dust bunnies, so they don't have lesions, they call them dust bunnies. They don't have lesions on them, but they can have it on their fur, so they can be carriers, so we're doing oral and
Oh.
topical for the ones with lesions, and then we're just, but it is
6 weeks though.
spread very easily, so unfortunately, but. And, then we have the regular cat room, that's got 8 in there, 9 in there, cause there's 2 kittens and 1 kennel in there. And then we've got, one of our dogs just was adopted yesterday,
This one.
Roscoe, that little, he was a cocker spaniel, husky
Oh.
something.
So on the dogs here, I noticed that you've got, they're all not adoptable.
So Marley, Noelle is getting spayed today. She's getting adopted on Saturday.
Oh.
Freckles' spay appointment is until January 2nd,
Okay.
and then Marley, I don't have an appointment for yet.
Freckles adopted, yeah.
Nope, Freckles is not adopted. So I can't adopt them out to their spade, so there is a huge backlog,
Gotcha.
and if I can get them in to fix a pet, I usually do, but you can only put so many dogs in there, in that vehicle, so, and Marley's like 80 pounds.
Well,
So, but I begged Dr. Berry to do Noelle, cause somebody wanted to adopt her, so she's coming Saturday, so kind of a 4-hour drive to get that dog.
So is Freckles warming up a little bit, or?
Freckles is adorable, she has a heck of a time outside playing with the dog, she's hilarious. She comes in, she's a little bit scared, but she's gotten, now cause I've been cleaning dogs all week, so before when I'd go in there, she'd hide in the corner, but now she just runs out for me, goes
She
and runs,
does?
yeah,
Oh.
so she's getting better.
That's not somebody who's bad mouth on Facebook.
Freckles?
Yeah, well, it's an Australian catalog, yeah,
Yeah, they were bad monkey.
their dog. That's all.
No reason.
That you wouldn't wanna adopt it if you had a child?
I don't know.
How would they even know that?
How would they
That's
know?
what I wondered, I wanted to say something, but I bit my tongue, and it was hard. Because like, don't
She's not a biter.
do this. to
Well, and I would
breeders,
imagine that they're probably talking about the breed.
Yeah.
Because
But they're
those
still
dogs
bad
are
mouthing.
herders and they do nip at the heels of people or they
Right.
will.
But then, I mean, to me, it's like a bad mouthing the animals, so nobody will want to
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, it depends on the animal individually.
Most people that know that breed, they're not gonna, you know, those dogs are herding dogs.
Right.
So, and she's like 6 months old, she's just a baby.
Oh, puppy still.
So yeah, so Marley's the only one we gotta get an appointment for. Amy, Amy's a long story. Amy, was brought in by a couple, and Dick had said, we can't take her, and we weren't taking surrenders. But then they started leaving, and they said, I feel bad, she's really skinny. I said, well, go get her. I'm like, just bring her in, who cares?
Right.
But, she was adopted from Illinois, from a rescue. And, the people that brought her in said that they were taking care of her for a couple weeks, the lady never came back to get her, which isn't the truth, absolutely true. So I called the rescue, and, they had also talked to the people, they were gonna get transport for her, because they brought her to us anyway, but it's a whole thing. Somebody's girlfriend was related to these guys, and he broke up with her that morning, and they dumped the dog on us. That's how that happened. So anyways, she's spayed already and microchipped. I'm just waiting for paperwork. I told the rescue, if you can't get up here, don't worry about her, cause they don't want to put her down. They asked if we were gonna shelter. I said she's perfectly fine. I said if we get into a situation where we're overrun with dogs, I will call you right away, and you can come get her if there's a situation. But we're probably gonna adopt her out as soon as I get the microchip information and the rest of her things. But she's already spayed, so I'm just waiting on that, but she's super, super, super skinny. So I wanna try to get her fattened up a little bit before I adopt her out. And then we have 2 cats in foster. Kitty Cat was the blind one, but, he's having some issues, he actually may have some sort of a brain tumor. And that might be why he was blind, he's having some neurological issues. So the foster home is gonna see how he does, but I can't fix
Well,
brain
yeah.
tumor. So, and then Lily's the kitty that's in foster care, cause she still needs a leg amputation. So I'm working on, when we got her, she couldn't walk at all,
Did she get hit or something?
no idea, she was found in a ditch with sores on her, she had, cuterebra in one of her legs and, but only one leg doesn't work,
Front or back?
front. So, but she's mobile, she can move around,
Good attitude.
good attitude, nice cat. And then we've got the kitties in the laundry room. That's it. Not much else going on,
Her age is.
except I've overworked.
Oh, come on now.
Okay.
We got ages all over the place.
I was saying, it's a couple, 3 years, that one, that's 7 years.
That's kitty cat,
Yeah.
that's, his owner died, so he was surrendered,
Oh.
and he was blind. But he doesn't look like a normal blind cat. He
Nice.
looks like he went blind for some, nope, he looks,
Oh.
Well, she,
oh, he wants some. Oh. Oh, okay. Sorry, they didn't never put a total on there for me. You can tell he can't see, but if you looked at him, unless you know what you're looking for, his eyes don't look like he's blind.
Okay.
But he doesn't, like, he just sits, he doesn't know where he is, you can tell by what he does.
okay, anything else? Everything else is going okay?
minutes.
Well, and I have to run to Shittah today, I have to go to Walmart shopping, I have, someone stole somebody's dog, I have a citation to write, I got sleep litter vouchers to take care of.
Do they,
And then
you
I
know,
still
who
got-
stole the person's dog, or just the,
She left me a message, but apparently what she understands is it ended up in an easement, I don't know anything about it, so I'm gonna get her, I'll call her when I get back and find out what happened. And then when I get back, I gotta help, Dakota's over there by herself right now, so I gotta help her medicate everybody when I get back and try to get a ticket out, try to get to Shittah, cause I have to do a kennel inspection that I didn't know about.
and she tried?
Yeah, that left, she hasn't had one since 2021.
Oh my.
It was done in 2022. I didn't know nothing about it. So she called me.
Well, it was nice though, I mean, she could've just,
She forgot about it, she's like, hey, I think this better, I'm like, what thing? But I got it all fixed, it's all good, that won't happen again. Like I told Terry, if I die, somebody will be able to go on the computer and know exactly what I did, so we're all,
well, it's good though,
We're
that you keep track of that stuff, good.
that's
Okay.
about it.
Any other questions for Dawn?
I have a question. Sorry. Tina in the playroom has been there a year. Is that considered warehousing her? I mean,
No,
is that gonna be okay?
she's going. She's getting adopted. I'm keeping my fingers.
Well, that's the,
Well, that's hopeful. It's just that could be
It
a,
could
you know,
be, but
questionable, wondering, okay, we're not warehousing animals. Does she gotta go?
she just got stuck there, unfortunately.
Hopefully that'll be fine.
you got a question, there's a cat up by the elementary school, junior high, or high school, whatever you wanna call it. Dave, I think it is.
I think Dave's getting rehome.
I was gonna ask, is Dave's owner getting fined for this? I mean, that cat's up there continuously. My concern is, the kids like the cat, and the cat's nice to him. Well, the cat that put me in the hospital was nice too, and I've known him for 11 years. So I mean, maybe the school's idea that this cat's nice, it's good for the kids, I mean,
Well, he actually went missing for 2 weeks, so he was gone, so he wasn't roaming around, so I don't know if me giving him a ticket is actually, like, because she put something on Facebook, and you could tell that he'd been missing for 2 weeks, I don't know where he went, nobody has seen him, cause he was really skinny, he got beat up, so, when I talked to the owner, he said he's going to, I don't know if he's got a family that has a farm, they can't keep him in, he just will not. I mean, and I know a cat like him, he got home, he was injured and he took off, so I did not write him a citation. If he comes in again after they told me they were gonna, then they will get one. So, he's only been in the shelter twice that I know.
oh, so I was at the school one day, they were saying that he's always,
He's always out there, but he's only been brought in twice.
Okay.
And so,
and the house over on Prince Avenue had 5 dogs, so there's never been any,
and he only had 4
or
dogs.
4. Did nothing ever happen with those?
I think he might have found one of them.
He's leaving now, so, I didn't know to drop the dogs off then.
No, there shouldn't be any dogs there.
Were you going to ask Dawn about the rabies thing and whether,
But I thought the letter was, you're
Yeah.
doing that.
That takes a lot of work
Okay.
and volunteers, and a volunteer vet, otherwise we have to pay a vet to do that.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, I can, and Ladysmith Vet is pretty small, I don't know if, and I don't know if I have the time to actually go there and tell them that, like, the license tags there. But when Nicole put it up, she did make a mention to get your 2024 licenses, just to
Get it
have
all.
people think about that. It takes a lot of work, and I don't have any, like I said, right now Nicole's hasn't been there all week, and because I'm not allowed anybody any more hours, I have no one to cover for her, but me. Cause I can't call anybody in.
And if it's out of that, yeah, if she's
So if-
gone, you're still screwed out of those many hours.
Yeah, I can't have anybody. So, and I have Friday off, which now I'm like, should I take Friday off? And Tuesday I'm not supposed to work, so I'm like, should I have to come in and work 10 or 12 hours? And I'm already getting paid for it because it's a holiday, so it's kinda like, it is what it is, so I told Dick he's gonna have to come in, and, I need a couple days off, I haven't had any. I haven't called in sick, nothing, so,
on call in case somebody's missing.
Right, cause they
Yeah.
have to know what they're doing, they have to be, that's,
Nobody wants just a thing that wasn't for sure hours.
yeah, and I can't have volunteers in there with nobody in there doing, you know, 'cause I don't,
Right.
I got sick cats right now, someone has to know how to take care of them. So that's
You
the
gotta
issue
get-
with the tightness of the hours, it's a little ridiculous, cause, I mean, I can't even, I'm gonna lose all my PTO again, probably, like I did last year, cause I can't even get out of there. You know, cause I have a lot of things done behind the camera, but it's fine, but, if there was more dogs there right now,
No, it's not funny.
we're lucky we only have 4. That's, you know, but, it is what it is,
Okay, nothing else for her? For anybody?
it's my rant.
Okay,
Good rant.
let's go to budget review. Again, this is through the end of November. We've been through most of this before, so you can see the unspent, remember, or unexpended or over budget, there's one more month to go. If you look down there, well, contracted services, we've talked about that before, being over. And a lot of these are, you know, roughly the same thing. The equipment way over, and that was because of the air conditioner had to be replaced or was struck by lightning or died.
It was actually repaired and then replaced, so it's.
Oh, double
bills.
whammy.
And then again, we've talked about this before, the animal food, shelter supplies and animal supplies are way over. And, I mean, it's nothing new, we've known about that. And the auto maintenance, well, okay, if you look at the last digits, 356, that was, I mean, earlier in the year when part of the auto dog problem.
Is the maintenance just gas, or is the maintenance actually maintenance? If I can ask.
Auto maintenance,
Yeah, is
that's
that,
just gas and oil or any repairs.
like, 'cause I had the tires changed, I had
That
the oil
should go in
changed,
there.
that's all, that's all it's for.
Skipping on down, okay, well, 9:30, they will transfer at year end, a maintenance thing allocated. So you can see the ones, then if you look at revenue, no kennels, the shelter receipts were over, which is good. The city share, well, you'll see that on the bottom of the page. And if you look at, well, okay, it's a few lines down on the second page, animal shelter donations, that's something, so they've got, people have donated and said it's for operations or to buy food or whatever, so that helps offset, you know, some of the expenses. And then look down, well, again, they're all zeros, if you look at the 49,200, animal shelter transfer gift fund. You know, we've talked about that before, that 3,167.52, that is what was authorized, remember?
Yes.
Those special needs things that we authorized as a board, and you'll see that coming up in a second too. So that got charged in there, so that's, you know, part of that. The dog licenses and everything, that's zero, again, that's a year-end transfer. I'm been told that it's going to be higher than what's here, because
I've been writing warnings, issuing citations,
they've been,
How much do we get for cat licenses?
I don't even know where those come from. So I haven't.
But does it go to the
I've
county, or
never
does it go to
sold
the
them.
shelter? Same with the dogs?
We don't sell them here, so I.
yeah,
I know the city gives a portion of it, comes back to the county.
It's on my list to ask.
Yeah, I know, how much do we get of the dog licenses? What does the county in
I
general
don't
get that?
Do we get all of them or a percentage?
I really don't know.
I think we get all of it, but again, that is handled through the county, well, there. And so if you look at the last line, 40% due from the city, based on what we have now, so it's almost 52,000 will come from the city as their 40% of the items,
When do they pay that?
when they get billed, and we won't bill them until we get all the numbers in
Oh,
here at
okay,
year
right,
end.
okay.
It's at year end. There is also, Dawn, for things for, okay, are there any questions on that? Let's keep moving on that, okay. Then if we look at the building fund, nothing has changed from last month. So far this year, we've got 6,700 in, but remember we had a fund balance carried forward through, so we've got about a little over 10,000 in there. And remember, that's where the architect's fees and everything are gonna be paid out of on that. If you turn the page for the spay neuter fund, you can see we're way over on the expense, but we're way over on our donations also. So just by looking at that, you can see we've spent about just roughly $5,000 more than we got in, but remember we had the fund balance carry forward of 36,000, so that would just reduce the fund carryover down to 31,000. For that,
Did anybody hear from, Mary Youth about how much she made the plant, or the porch pots?
It was 3,000 something, I think, that was deposited.
Okay.
I don't know if it's in this calculation or not, but I deposited that. When was that?
November.
I probably got all that a couple weeks later, I'm gonna say, so I probably deposited it a couple weeks ago, I think. It was like 3,000
They had a record
something.
number of porch pots to make this year.
Yeah, it was more than it was last year. Yeah, I wanna say it was like $3,000 or a little over $3,000.
okay, and then the last one is the gift fund. Now, this is the one that I mentioned to you, if you look at it, if you look at the second line down from expenses, year to date, 1,191.55. Remember, that was authorized by the committee, that was the additional traps and carrier things that we did. And then if you go down 3 more lines, transfer to animal shelter, there's that 3,165.52 that we talked about prior. That got expensed on the other side, so that comes out of here. So we are transferring that, and so far this year we've gotten 8,000. So if you just look at this, we've gotten roughly $4,000 more in than we expensed or transferred, and we started out with 78,000, so roughly, again, we probably have about 82,000 in the gift fund right now.
I have a question for you. That spay neuter budget of that $5,000 a year, was that, did you guys not spay and neuter everybody? I'm just curious,
Nope.
is it's only budgeted for 5,000, I'm already at 13. You know what I mean, that's not a big deal, cause there's money in there, but I wasn't sure if everybody got fixed or not, if you talked before they got adopted.
I'm not, what do you follow?
I don't think she did or not.
I mean, I think the cats were, I don't know about the dogs.
Dogs, I don't, if they have vouchers maybe, because Purple Cat was the only one that could come and do that, and then after COVID, we got behind it to get fish. That's got behind
Cause
it.
by the end of this year, that'll give you a good number of what it,
Right.
cause I wanna say we've taken in, over 100 more animals that actually came in last year. And that's national, all shelter, there's like
Right.
thousands and thousands of animals. I think it's over like 100 and some thousand animals for this year that have been dumped off the shelter. But that's what it would cost, you know, if you kept with those numbers, that's your basic cost for staying in there and everybody.
If you go back to the first page of the general budget, that's what I had mentioned to you earlier, account 365, just looking at the last digits. That's the spay neuter refunds, and the month before, we only had $25 in there, that's what I asked you about, and I haven't had a chance to look at that. That's, went way up.
Well, that right there is probably because I put something wrong in there.
Yeah, we'll have
We
to
haven't
check
had,
that.
I have not had, I think I had one, and that was not an animal that I had sent out unfixed, that was prior.
Well, and one other thing too, that you had talked about, that $25 fee for the dog things, you know, when you have an adoption. You don't have to do anything with that anymore.
Oh, okay, and unless for some reason somebody's not fixed that I adopt them, which would not be an adult animal.
Because on that, since they already, but then you'll have to change your,
Sales tax.
sales tax and everything too. And also, I think it was 2 months ago, we adopted an increase in the adoption fees. That has, we approved it here. It doesn't go any further, it's a done deal.
It's a done deal, okay.
So you need to update Facebook, your
Alright.
forms and all that starting January 1, the fees went up for, dogs spayed,
I
neutered.
think it was 150 for dogs and 75 for cats.
Did anybody complain previously about the cost for adoptions?
I had people tell me it was really cheap.
That
We're the
is-
lowest in Wisconsin.
Let's hope they keep
I
that
think
attitude.
you are for the,
I went through every single shelter in northern Wisconsin, and we are very low.
So I have seen people complain that they have to pay to get the animals out of there, to take them to a home. And it's like,
I've never had anyone complain.
well, that's good. Well, these are probably people that wouldn't come and adopt an animal anyway.
Well, we're,
Nagging about something.
the spay and all the medicating vaccines, that cost more than what we're even selling.
Well, yeah, they can't, they don't, so many people don't understand that even just that the animal's there for a day.
Yeah.
You know, it costs money to do it.
And a spay is like $200 for a dog. That's cheap. If you
Cheap.
go anywhere else, Lady Vet, it's like $600 to $800 for a spay.
Yeah, it was
So they're getting a good deal.
Yeah, seems like it.
That's one, well, I know, I adopted a rescue from Coco's Hearts, it's, was it $750 for a dog, and no special.
Well, see, I think that's ridiculous. I would never charge that much because we are,
I mean,
you know.
I saw.
But-
You fell in love with them.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, they may not get as cheap a spays as we get too,
True.
so if they're, I
Yes,
mean,
very
usually
true.
they'll get a discount.
Yeah.
But their spay might have been $300.
Yeah.
Or neuter or whatever, so they have to recoup their costs.
Right. which makes
Ours
sense.
are fairly, they're still low, but they keep going up.
Yeah.
They've been going up all year, they've gone up. So, it's just, everything's going up.
That was
Cat
what it
litters,
is.
like, everything is,
I know what they are.
it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's doubled off.
So since we have already approved it, we are the final say on
Okay,
that.
good.
So
Then I
you
will
can
take
put the
care of
new adoption, and I think we had it effective January 1.
I can't do it on Facebook, but I can do it on the website, so. I don't have ad
Oh,
rights on
yeah.
Facebook, it has to always change, and I don't have time to sit and not get interrupted.
But
with
put
that.
it on your
It'll go on the
forms
website,
and
it'll go,
website
yeah.
and any ads or
Yep.
anything go out so that the new adoption fees will be, effective. And then again, that $25 so the whole thing will be,
We'll
well,
keep it just in case I use it.
you
for
probably should double check that, go online and check sales tax, cause the sales tax is on the whole thing then, right?
something. Yeah, someone from the, treasurer's department sent me a calculated, cause I had already asked them about that, if they could send me a new calculation, and I just put the numbers in, it does it for me. So, but I will make sure before I do anything.
With
that
the
it's
new
correct.
rates.
With the new rates. I just
And,
have to plug them
and
in.
we don't have that taxable anymore. How are we doing with the vouchers and everything?
I've gotten, Lady Vet gives me their vouchers right away, and I wanna say I got 3 from her so far, but she's a lot more expensive, so, Gina from Ladysmith Vet has been working on those, she started working on those yesterday. And she's got a bunch, and I just gave a lady, got 2 neuters today, I gave her 2 vouchers. So there will be a hefty, I probably give them out over 70, not more than that, I don't know. But not everyone's gonna do them, obviously, but, Ladysmith Vet does the majority of them.
Why don't you tell Mike what that is, since he's new, he doesn't know it.
Oh, so,
Voucher thing.
yeah, so I, the animal shelter gets a donation from the Light Foundation every year, which is anywhere from $1,200 to $1,700.
Sure.
I take that money, it goes in the spay neuter fund, but I have like a running sheet. So that money gets used for vouchers that are for community members to use in Russ County to help with spay and neuter. And then our aluminum can money, I also take that money and put that into that voucher program. And when, at the end of the year, our first meeting in January, I should be able to have all that and let y'all know like how many we did. So that money I calculate, and then I hand out vouchers for cat neuter, cat spay, dog, whatever, and I have a specific price. And then they go to their vet, and then they take that off of their fee. And then I get the bill, and then at the end of the year, it comes out of our spay neuter fund, but out of those allocated funds. So
That we're
specifically,
donated for
that
that.
we're donated specifically for that.
That's from the weather shield.
Yep, yep, so anybody that lives in Russ County, if they're having a hard time, or if they've got an abundance of farm cats or feral cats or whatever they have, they can just give me a call, and if they need help, I'll get them a voucher, and
Okay.
I don't have a limit, just because I feel like people that have 5 or 6, feral cats or barn cats that showed up that got dumped off, I'm not gonna just give them one voucher, cause that's not gonna
Yeah.
fix the problem,
No.
so, but,
And again, this is for the public as
Community, yeah.
opposed to the
shelter animals.
shelter animals,
Yeah.
that comes out of the spay neuter
For
fund,
sure.
you know. the
So what
regular-
I probably give him, like I said, I'm actually already on 2024, my list, because that's how booked out Lady Smith that is. So I know she said she had a staff of vouchers, so I don't know
That's
if
a
that
nice,
means,
that's a nice way to.
yeah, so the more out there
Yeah.
we can get fixed, the less that are gonna come to us,
Do you ever
So-
approach people that you know don't have their animals fixed?
yes, all the time.
Talk to Jeff Mead.
So, if they get impounded and they're not fixed,
Right,
I
But if
talk to
they're
them
just-
and,
if they got one that's running around town that is fixed, but, or that isn't fixed and is pregnant, but they've got others that aren't fixed, females,
I can't do anything about that.
you wouldn't even just approach them and suggest that you can't fixed.
I can suggest they get their cat fixed,
Right.
but that's all, because it's not against the law,
Right, but
unfortunately.
you can talk to this person.
Yeah, I mean, I can let them know I have vouchers, or pregnant cat, I can't do anything about, unfortunately.
Right, that was one of those boots.
Yeah, so, I mean, I get a lot of, I've had a lot of cats come in that are intact, and I've given people vouchers, cause I can't not give them their cat back to them whether it's fixed or not, I
Right.
cannot do that. That's, would be me stealing their animal.
Are most people
But I've
receptive
given vouchers.
to you giving them the vouchers that they're, you know? people go-
Well, I will find out at the end of this year how many people actually
No, yeah,
did them. But I had a couple, cats that they came after the fact. They found them after they had been there for a couple weeks, and they were already fixed, and they were very grateful that they had been fixed. I just made them adopt them back. So, after we put the money into it, so.
They pay the fee.
They pay the adoption fee if they came in and realized that, oh, this cat is mine. So, cause sometimes, we get a lot of stuff on Facebook, people can miss their cat being posted. I only had one person that was really mad that his cat was neutered, but that cat was there for like 3 weeks before he stopped in. But he believes that if you're born with your parts,
oh, you got.
that you do not remove them. It was,
Oh, boy,
he was upset with me because I changed the kitty's
sex.
born identity, I guess, I don't know. But, there's, I can't do anything about that. He takes care of his cats. He comes and gets them, pays the fee, so there's no law against it, but.
Well, next time when his pets comes, ask the vet to, we have a jar of formaldehyde, so when he sticks the cat up, you can secure, you got him
He's
still.
from Ukraine, he's actually a funny guy, he gave me a jar of honey.
Oh.
I don't believe in his not getting
Oh,
cat sick,
hold on.
but he does take care of
Lives by
them.
you.
They stay on his place most of the time, every once in a while I'll get a straggler.
Okay, anything more on the bills? That, okay, on the budget review? Okay, let's take a look at the bills that you have, and if there are any questions,
I'm not trying to go over budget, I
Why
swear
so
to God.
many?
Is the water, the high water bill, is that because of the hose issue in the dock?
I don't think so, well, the water bill is probably high because we use a lot of water.
Oh.
So that's gonna go, depending how many dogs you have, or how much you have cleaning, that's gonna be high.
Okay.
But the hose, that repair, you couldn't use the hose. When it was broke. So it has a lot of water pressure, and there was some kind of, I don't know what they call it, but when you turn it on, there's pressure and it like whoosh, and something, a ring or something, when it slams like that, because there's so much water pressure, it broke something in there. And so he kept trying to fix it without, I think he was trying to be nice, hoping it would work without having to give us that $1,500 bill almost.
So what did they have to replace?
They had it- They must have had to change something inside the unit,
Oh.
had to be changed,
Cause it's a pressurized tank.
Yeah. unfortunately. But yeah, we use, I mean, we got laundry going all the time, we use a lot of water.
Well, and these are quarterly water bills, right?
Saving this.
Yeah, so the less animals you have, obviously the less. Yeah. But water keeps going up too, I mean, all the bills they just keep adding and adding and adding.
You know, the city had to raise theirs, I believe. Right, Mike?
Well, you get a lot more complaints if you turn the faucet on in the middle of.
Oh, definitely. That's what he's gonna get called at home again.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember a couple meetings ago when I had asked you a question if there would be any issue if I added, rabies vaccines to the spay neuter bills? Did anybody ever? So if you get, say I take 20 animals to the vet, right? If we're at Purple Cat, we pay that online on a credit card. The only thing we don't pay is for rabies vaccines. Rabies vaccines are $15 a piece. So I've been putting that under veterinary, I have not been putting that under spay neuter. So that is increasing our veterinary because that's $200, $300 just for rabies vaccines. And I had asked if an animal went in for surgery and got spayed, whatever was done on that surgery day, can I take that out of spay neuter? Like, I think the dew claw, the dog that had dew claw removal, because there was an injury there or something like that, and had to be removed. I put that under spay neuter because that is a surgery. So I guess I wasn't, do you guys see any issue like with that? I mean,
I don't see, I mean, technically, it probably isn't exactly spay neuter. On the other hand, the person that is raising all your money for spay neuter would probably consider it a package deal, and I'm speaking for her, and I can talk to
Mary?
her, yes. But you know, because she's raising the money, and does she strictly want it for spay neuter, or would she mind if it was like
if it's like a package deal,
Right.
so,
I would think she'd say.
I didn't know if anyone would get offended at that, cause you know, when you have,
I think
I
it would be
donate,
good.
Yeah, I think
spay
so too.
neuter, I'd be fine with it,
yeah,
think
I
it's-
think, I mean, if they're in there for
very important.
getting all that done at the same time.
it's just because that $200 for all those rabies vaccine is, I mean, that's like every time we have 3 appointments a month, that's almost $600 in
But-
rabies vaccines.
But don't you give rabies vaccines otherwise too, not just when they go in for spay neuter?
If they're already fixed, they'll go to the vet for a rabies vaccine. If a vet comes to me, just for some reason, I can do them myself, but I can't do them without a vet.
Right.
So if an animal that's already fixed goes and gets rabies vaccine, that would not come out of spay neuter. That would just come out of regular veterinary. We don't
Okay.
get a lot of animals that are already fixed, so. I would say 99% of them are intact.
To me, if we did it, if you just took him into the vet to get the shot, that would be a totally different thing.
That's different.
Yeah, if they're going in for getting spayed and neutered, and they got the shots, to me, I would think
That's
we should do that.
the package
Yeah.
deal.
Mhm.
That's true, because every once in a while, someone, there might have to be, like that one had to have that dew claw removed, cause it was, I don't know what it was injured or something like that, it couldn't stay on there. Okay, that's all, I just wanna make sure of that.
You said the rabies shots was $15?
It's 15 to 20 depending on where we go, yeah.
Okay, so when you said $200,
That
that
was just
means, oh, okay,
I was, yes.
okay.
Whatever 15 animals times 15 is,
Gotcha.
you have to go with,
A lot.
so.
Just-
And sometimes we get animals that do have rabies vaccines that are not fixed, so they would just get the spay. Because I include, if an animal comes in and it has a pyometra, or it's in heat, all of that is included in that surgery, so I was just curious if I could slide that rabies vaccine in.
Yeah, does anybody on the committee have any objection to that? I mean, they're going in
No,
for, I mean, we don't wanna sit there and
It'll just
parse
help a little bit
everything
offset
out.
the
Right.
veterinary costs, cause of, you know what I mean, cause that's, like I said, that's, you know, a couple $100 every time we go in.
Take care of it right away.
Yeah, might as well.
As long as they're there,
Okay,
they're
so
fine.
go
That's
ahead.
all I did.
Just wanna make sure nobody gets mad at me.
Okay,
that.
any other questions on the bills?
Make a motion to pay the bills?
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve, the payment of the bills. Are there any further discussions about it? Or any questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries, so this is around.
We have to
You'll just-
change this.
Oh,
You'll just
okay.
have to
Yeah.
take
Gordy off there.
Okay, while we're passing that around and everything, our next meeting date will be January 18th, in the brand new year, 2024. At 10:30, I mean 8:30 here in the boardroom. And the
What
other
date was that?
18th, January 18th, that should be that's the third Thursday,
We'll be in snow by then.
who knows? And so,
I don't know, okay.
outside of that, we'll find out when we have Paula.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I was wondering if, because I came late, if I could do the partners, the Friends of the Russ County Animal Shelter report, even though I wasn't here?
Okay, we'll allow that.
Okay. Okay, well, actually, that's one of the very first, well, the first thing on the agenda is we are very anxious for a cost estimate and a schedule for this, because we are trying to think of ideas of how to raise some major money, but we can't hardly ask people for donations. Yeah, we're thinking about putting an addition on, we don't know how much it's gonna cost, and we don't know when we're gonna do it. We like some kind of at least ballpark answers about that, so when we start picking people up for money, we have that. So as soon as you find anything out, we would like to know it. Second of all, and this kind of happened today, is I was wondering, if we could have the Friends of the Animal Shelter be like right before you set the meeting for the next date, so move it down to the end of the agenda. I know that, there's a tradition of having groups or whatever at the beginning, but there really is no law against having us at the end, and if you guys decide to change the agenda, which you can at any time, like you just did right now, to add, to put me at the end, we would really appreciate it, because Michael, the other gal that comes, she has to ask for time off work, and she does not get paid vacation for her time off, and I have Eucharistic adoration at church, so I have to get a sub, and sometimes I can get a sub for the whole time, and sometimes like today, they just came in, the sub just came in and, like a half an hour early from their other assignment. And so it would really be helpful to us if we could have our agenda thing at the end. Okay, so that's something for you to think about. And then, and like I say, there's really no law about what the agenda order has to be. There's traditional things that are always on them, like minutes and finance and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, the third thing is that something happened today. Okay, it's when Dawn said that that's fine, how long have you been here?
A year, October 3rd.
Okay, so anyway, she said, that's fine that she didn't take any of her vacation last year, but that's not fine.
Personal time.
No.
Personal time, whatever you guys call it.
Mhm.
And, what other department head in this building would say that, and what other committee would let them, that's a serious thing. And employees have vacation for a reason, and all departments work, some of their vacation time, that's not unheard of, but other department heads have flex time, which means, yeah, they do come in for a couple hours extra on a day, or they come in on their vacation day, then they can take another day off. And I don't know, I mean, when would she take another day off? I mean, that is impossible. And so that, coupled with the, and I don't understand it exactly, but my impression is that the on-call phone policy, is different for this department than it is for all the other departments. And so those are two things that say that this department isn't as important as the other departments in the county. And, so I don't think that that idea should be encouraged or permeated or whatever the word is, that, oh, that's just the animal shelter. It's no big deal if they aren't getting their vacation, and it's no big deal if their on-call policy is discriminatory, because it's just the animal shelter. And, so I think that you guys need to really think about that, and you know, it should be consistent countywide, both those policies. And it's obvious that if she, I mean, maybe you don't think she's working that hard, and so she is just, you know, sloughing off or something, but I don't think that that's the impression that you have of her. And so to work her without any vacation is not right, and if the animal shelter needs another half-time employee, you know, then we gotta fight for it, and we will gladly support you in that. The last thing is, I and our group, we never doubted you guys as a committee, your position on killing animals for space. And so we did not mean to offend you or, let's say, hurt your feelings or anything, that we doubted that you were gonna support, whether or not you were gonna support Dawn and her policy. The presentation that Michael and I gave was for the benefit of other county board members, one of whom was not here to hear it. The other ones maybe watched it on YouTube or whatever that's on. And so it was also for the benefit of that personnel committee group that pulled that, in my personal opinion, irresponsible and immature stunt of not seconding a motion so that the discussion could not even take place. And so what we were both saying was really, through you, directed at them. So I didn't want you to think that we doubted you for a second. So, anyway. that's
You're
all I-
talking about when they wouldn't second the motion to hire an additional employee.
Well, they-
No, it wasn't hire, it was
It was
just to
just
approve
The
the
job
job description.
and the JDQ.
They stopped
And
before
so
it
if
started.
they didn't want it, I mean, they should have voted against it, but you don't not second a motion, because that opens up discussion, and then you take the vote on the issue. You don't take the vote on the issue by refusing to make it second. I mean, that just is bizarre for adult public servants. So anyway,
No, I agree.
like I said, so all that stuff that we said was not directed at you as a committee. It was,
I don't think anybody took it that way.
okay,
I did.
okay, good. Good.
I don't
But
think
I totally agree with you that, that should never have happened.
I don't
Crazy.
think the personnel board understood that it was part-time person going to a full-time person, not a whole nother.
That's why they needed to have
No,
discussion.
I think-
They understood.
I think
No.
they understood.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
There was a person there that shouldn't have been there necessarily, well, he
Oh, one
was there
before the
as
meeting started.
part of the,
Yeah, just, the bottom line is, we have confidence in you and we're willing to start flipping pancakes or whatever, once we get a cost and a time estimate from you.
Yeah, just on a couple of those items, they're supposed to be getting back to us, I think about mid-January, to have a Zoom meeting to bring us up to date on what some estimates might be and things like that.
Okay,
Because they were out there yesterday, with Dawn to more of the structural type thing. And like Dawn said, they had some good ideas, and so they're working on that now, so it'll probably take about, another month or,
Okay.
toward the end of January, so then we're gonna have a Zoom meeting, and then hopefully they'll come up with some numbers, and of course that can get modified, but then we'd at least have something more than what we've got now. You know, even
Well, okay.
even the size of the room and everything too, because
Right.
that was one issue that we got
Well,
hammered.
whatever, that's all, you know.
Yeah.
You guys
And-
gotta worry about
And
that.
also, starting January 29th, I believe, there will be a new HR manager, hired. And we'll start work on that day, so we will have a full-time HR person who can help us with some of these issues that we don't seem to get resolved now.
Great, that's
Another
great.
Ashley.
And then,
Another Ashley, yes.
and then the only last thing is, I'll think about that whole agenda thing, if we could be at the end, it would be
Yeah, that should
logistically
be,
better for
that
us, so.
shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, great.
I can take care of
So-
that.
Okay, so that's all we have.
Okay,
Keep on, keep it on.
okay, again, there's nothing else, again, January 18th, 2024 is our next meeting, and,
I do have a question.
okay,
I was just wondering if the county, the clerk's office, whatever, the tax things, if they've made an effort to want to get dog licenses from all of the county residents, because, we got two different tax bills from where I live and elsewhere, and they both had the thing for dog licenses. We don't have a dog, and we haven't had a dog for, probably 5 or 6 years, but I was happy to see it, because I'm hoping that, they're giving them to everybody, so, saying, okay, if you've got a dog, let us know.
We did the same for the town of Stubbs, we sent them out to everyone.
it went with the tax bills.
Yes, with the tax bill, because before, I don't think, we hadn't gotten one, since I said we don't have a dog, we hadn't gotten
Well,
one for a dog.
I think that has to be updated every year, and I think some townships probably don't send that out all the time, but they've gotta keep the record of who has a dog and who doesn't, and then if they, can get fined for that, and then they say, well, my dog died, well, then, okay, we have to update the records and everything. And that all goes into
Right.
the county and Jill and Tracy.
Yeah, well, I thought it was good that, even if you don't have a dog necessarily, that they know of their sending.
We
They're
sent
sending
it
that.
out, and there was a little card thing that had to be filled out and returned. I mean, if you had a dog, because with the payment for the dog license. for
Right.
The dog tag. Yep. Okay, outside of that, I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy 2024.
Same
And
to
with
you
that,
guys.
I'll entertain
Yes.
a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. We are adjourned at 9:37.
Send me the results.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,